In addition to Halana, I would also like to share my experience with you. And first, I would like to introduce myself. Well, I'm Mirti Gombachs, and as a bachelor, I studied molecular science and technology. And at the moment, I'm a third-year master's student doing the research specialization, but also the business specialization, which I will explain later on. And in addition to this, I also am part of the Top Sector Chemistry Scholarship, as Lies already mentioned in her presentation. And besides studying, I also really like to do a lot of other things. So I have a lot of hobbies, as you can see on the slides. Well, most of those hobbies I can still do it with the coronavirus, but the traveling and the hanging out with friends are a bit on hold at the moment. I would also like to share a timeline with you how my masters looked like. So I started in September 2017. And in my first year, I did all my courses. So I did the core courses for my research specialization, but I did also do the core courses for my business specialization. And then in September 2018, I started with my master thesis. That was an internship of 7 months. So I did 40 ECTS of research in the Master LIC Institute. After that, in May, I started with my internship at AkzoNobel, and this internship was related to my participants at the Top Sector Chemistry Scholarship. Then in November 2020, I started with my literature review, and at the moment I'm doing my internship at DSM, and this internship is for my business specialization. So let's dive a bit deeper into combining two specializations. But for me, it was very important to learn more about chemistry as a subject. So I was very interested in all those chemical subjects, and therefore I also wanted to do the research specialization, but I was also very curious how a business would run besides the technology. So therefore I also chose the business specialization. For the main reason to broaden my view, and I also would like to have some experiences in doing an internship in a company. Don't worry too much. If you want to combine two specializations, you are not busy for 4 years, because what you can see here, a lot of components overlap and you do not need to do them. So in total, for completing two specializations, you need to have a total of 160 ECTS, which means that only the specialization-specific components of the business study I needed to do, and those were the core courses of this specialization and the internship I'm doing at the moment. So let's take a look at the core courses for the track I chose. Actually, the same as Halana, I also switched from track, although I switched from chemical biology towards energy and sustainability. And well, that was completely possible, and there was no problem. So I also counted my chemical biology courses as electives. And in addition to this, I also did some other electives. And there exists a list of all these electives and their an elaborate description of them, and that will be shared with you. So if you are interested in all the courses given in our masters, you can find them there. Then for my master thesis, I did a synthesis of an iridium photocatalysis and the characterization of its hydrogen evolution properties when we incorporated this liposome into a membrane. So what I did was I adjusted a known iridium catalyst with two lipophilic tails. And these tails should allow the iridium catalyst to be stuck into a liposome. And then we wanted to see what the influence of this was on the hydrogen evolution properties of this catalyst, because it was known that the liposomes create more stability for the catalyst. Then after my master thesis, I did my internship at AkzoNobel. This was a 6-month internship focused on fundamental research into polymers. This internship is completely confidential, so I cannot go too deep into what I did during this internship. But what I would like to share with you is that I did this internship for the Top Sector Chemistry Scholarship. And this is indeed a 2-year program, as Lies already told you. Let me see. What I would like to add to that is indeed you have a kind of job application route you go through. So you apply for a Top Sector Chemistry Scholarship. After that, you choose your 2 favorite companies you would like to be matched to, and then those companies give the final decision who they would like to invite for a scholarship interview. You can call it like that. And besides the internship for the company, you also have a lot of other extracurricular activities you can do. These are very broad, from leadership development to more into chemical specific topics. So that is also very interesting, I think. And then as a last, I would also like to highlight the internship I'm doing at the moment, which is at DSM for 5 months. And during this internship, I work at the logistics department in Leiden. And for this internship, I'm analyzing the import goods flow of DSM. And besides this analysis, at the moment, I am suggesting some structural solutions for inefficiencies I found. And what I also like very much about this internship at the moment is that I'm working with a team and are really able to advise them on during cost-saving decision-making. So it really feels like I can contribute something to the company. And this internship is not just a paper which they put in the closet and never look at it again. So this was my experience. Maybe there were a lot of questions about choosing a mentor. Maybe I can share my experience on that. So at the moment, at the start of my master's, I was also very doubting if I wanted to do the chemical biology or the energy and sustainability. So what I did was I followed several courses from both tracks. And there was one course I liked so much that I decided that I wanted to do my internship in that team. And I also asked the lecturer of those courses to be my mentor. So that's also a possibility to choose your mentor, and that was in my first 3 months. So that's also something you could do. And I think then I would like to give the floor back to Lies Bouwman to close this session. Maybe if there are questions.
Okay, let's start with, does anyone have a question specifically to Mirta? Thank you, Mirta, for this presentation. Also, Halana. I forgot to thank Halana. I think, are there questions for Mirta? If not at this moment, maybe later.